Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. We're back with another Bandai article, just trying to catch up on these, but I always think it's very interesting to go through and see where the Bandai dev team is at as far as like their deck building goes. I don't think they build with like the most competitive play in mind, but they really want to be thematic. They really want to show you how the decks operate. So we'll go through this. We'll read what they have to say. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you guys want to help support the channel, many ways down in the description. But if you want to buy any of the cards for this deck or any trading card game cards for that matter, use my link in the description to TCG Player. It really does help out greatly. That being said, we'll get right into it. So, announcement, dev team column, Son Gohan deck showcase. Greeting Dragon Ball Super card game fans. The Goku Frieza STR has been revealed. Miraculous conclusion. This card recreates the teamwork between Goku and Frieza at the end of the Universal Survival Saga, and we hope all of you get a chance to experience their ultimate power for yourselves. Now, just my opinion on the SCR before we get into the actual deck list. It's not that great competitively. Some decks have topped with this, which was kind of interesting, like at the core TCG event from like a weekend or two ago. But we'll give it a quick read. It's ultimate dual attack, 40k, permanent. You can't play this card from any area using skills. There's some random like 7-drop yellow cooler that can just like special, not special summon, that was a Yu-Gi-Oh term, that can play this card by basically cheating its energy cost. And if you have 5 or more mono red energy, reduce energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. Permanent, this card can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills. Permanent, during battles in which this card attacked, you can't use cards from your hand in combos, and your opponent can't activate counter or blocker skills. Activate main if your leader's red and remove this card from the game. Deal 1 damage to your opponent. So the main issue with this card, at least when it was first revealed, was Mecha Frieza and mainly Final Flash, Vegeta's Final Flash. But now that card's not really super popular in the meta, this card has a lot more breathing room. But I just think that as far as like the most competitive decks go, I think Gohan is a really good SCR that costs 1 less energy than this. I think that in any red deck, you're still going to consider Space Time Kai. You're still going to consider Heroine's Lineage. So I think this guy just has some competition that kind of pushes him out of the water. But admittedly, it's not the worst SCR we've ever seen. So that's not too bad. But anyways, let's go into their deck list. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Gohan deck featuring the Goku Frieza Miraculous Conclusion SCR. So I'll go through the list, give my thoughts. They do have the pictured list here and the text list down here, and they have some stuff to say about it afterwards that we'll take a look at. But anyways, at the list, 4 Gohan Ultimate Essence and 4 Frieza Unison, 100%. Yeah, you got to do this. You definitely want your Gohan on 1, and you really want your Frieza on 2 to start snowballing advantage, comboing those skillless cards from the drop area so that you can just like start drawing crazy hands with your leader. 2 Krillin to search your skill list. Now, I think most standard Gohan builds that I've been seeing have been playing 6 skill lists, and these skill lists are searchable with Gohan, but Krillin does search them directly from the deck, so that is a nice little bonus. And like playing Krillin and then comboing it for your leader to draw is going to be a pretty hard plus. But I think we're just playing a little bit too much of the skillless engine here. And then we're playing a full 8 of the Universe 7 Challenger, Android 18 and 17. Basically, if you combo with these cards and the only other card you're comboing with is a skillless card, they kind of become like super combos. They draw you a card when they're comboed in that particular circumstance, which is not terrible. But again, I think like the full 8 is a bit much. Like when you're doing this much in terms of like the thematic stuff, you're really just sacrificing slots for a lot of other really good cards. But anyways, moving along to Goku Divine Presence at a 4 of 110%. That card is absolutely incredible in just about any red deck I'm playing right now. The card's so insane. It's got such an easy summon condition. Even if you're not playing skillless cards in a red deck, I would heavily consider playing this card just for the fact that it's 25k dual attacker and can give 5k to anything else on your field when it's played. It's such a versatile card, relatively cheap for what it does. I think it's really solid. Only 2 surprise deck Gohan. I'd probably play 3 to 4 of this in a Gohan build. I mean, I posted a Gohan profile a week or 2 ago that you guys can check out, where I am playing 4 copies of this. It's just that's just what the deck wants to do. It wants to be like a mono red arrival deck. So playing 4 Gohan I think is your best bet there. Surprise attack Vegeta, not all that great in this deck in my opinion. You don't really use Spirit Boost all that much, like very niche circumstances, and they are playing difference of status, but I personally just don't think that card's all that great. So I would probably just scrap difference of status and surprise attack Vegeta and probably fit in some better cards. We're only playing 2 Yamcha. I would definitely play 4, and that's what I'd probably cut the difference of statuses in the Vegeta for. But yeah, Yamcha, even though in this format it's not like as broken as it was like when Mecha Frieza was using Universe Sign Assemble. It's still just a great card. It's your free red counterplay. I think you play 3 to 4 copies, but it is really nice that they got reprinted in that red Vegeta structure deck. 4 Raditz Saiyan Youth. Now this is interesting. I think this is really interesting because I would expect Bandai to play a U7 super combo just because it's searchable with the Gohan. It's way more on theme, stuff like that. But I think it is really good that they're playing Raditz Saiyan Youth here. I like that a lot. Again, I talked about difference of status. I'd probably just cut it. They're playing 3 Violent Rays and 3 Imposing Presence. So the extra card lineup is really, really high in general. I mean, difference of status and Imposing Presence can be used for free under the right conditions, so that's fine. But I'd probably go with some number of testing the opposition. The main thing with a deck like this, it's very similar for starter Vegeta as well. You get stuck at 5 life, and then like your Raditz super combo is not live. So I'd probably play 2 to 3 copies of testing the opposition. Like again, just chop different status altogether. Just play 2 to 3 different testing the opposition. And they're playing the classic fighting against fates and double strike combo. Now what's nice about a red deck is you can actually play 2 Champas, so you can see it more consistently, and if it ever just like clunks your hand, you can just charge it, which is cool. But yeah, it's really funny how, like, again, I feel like they really build these things to be way more thematic and not so much like competitive. But the Bardock Champa combo is a highly competitive combo, so that's kind of a interesting line they're kind of walking with competitive versus thematic. But anyways, they do have the Goku Frieza SCR rounding out the deck. The deck's not bad by any means. It just really fully leans into that U7 type of deck, which is fine. Again, I think you can just chop some things down to fit some better tech cards, but you guys can check out my profile on the channel if you want to see that. Let's go into what they have to say. So the deck concept. This is a mid-range deck focused around skillless battle cards and combos. It builds advantage with skills that activate every time you combo with skillless battle cards, granting power boost to ensure you always have the edge in combat. Many skillless cards also help you serve as support cards, giving you plenty of options for customizing the deck to your needs. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about before. There's more ways to pretty much customize the deck. And what I've noticed is, like, with most of these deck articles that we've gone through for Bandai, at least for set 14, they've all been mid-range, which, like, for me is great. I love mid-range, but like we haven't really seen them do one for like a control deck or like an aggro deck. I mean, I guess you can say Boo is like sort of aggressive, but let's move on. Deck goals. This card's your main attacker, the Goku Divine Presence, fueling the deck's early game while building advantage. It adds a skillless card to your hand every time it attacks, which is another reason you can play less skillless cards, and can attack for up to 30k power if you play your cards right. Even better, it can't be removed from battle area by skills during your turn, which is actually super clutch. Once on the board, your opponent will have to just deal with it. Figuring out the most efficient way to get it into play should be the foremost concern. And yeah, so combo with any U7, probably just a skillless. Your leader will draw a card, and then hopefully you have Ultimate Essence on board, which draws another card, and then you combo with one of the Android 17 or 18 and draw another card, and then play Divine Presence is the way you want to do it. Early game, play Gohan Ultimate Essence and Krillin Universe 7 Challenger and prepare for the mid game. The deck is focused on getting advantage by using skillless cards and combos, so make sure your lines of play use as many combos as possible. Try to mulligan until you have above cards in your hand, or other cards that add skillless cards to your hand early on. Yeah, so I would definitely mulligan for these cards as well as your Frieza Unison. Even though Ultimate Essence can search for it, you really just want to start with that Frieza Unison in play. Mid game, play Frieza Unlikely Savior on turn 2 and awaken your leader. Frieza Unlikely Savior is a Unison card with a unique skill that allows you to use a skillless U7 card in a combo every time your opponent attacks. Its combo skill also helps it keep markers intact, so your opponent's going to have a difficult time getting it off the board. So those of you that are newer to the game maybe don't really completely understand how Unisons work. When a Unison of yours is attacked, you can't combo, but when your Unison attacks, you can combo. So basically, when your Unison's attacked, you can still trigger this auto when your opponent attacks, choose one skillless U7 in your hand or drop and combo with it. You can trigger that even if it's the Unison being attacked, even though you technically don't get a defensive combo step. This is happening in the, I guess you can say, auto window, which still adds that combo power to Frieza's 15k. So you still get to like defend it, sort of, if that makes sense. If your opponent wants to combo over 20, they can do that, but you still get to trigger the auto even if this guy gets attacked. Defensive cards, difference of status, a new red counter that allows you to flexibly power down your opponent's battle cards. Use Spirit Boost X to reduce the power of an opponent's battle card to 0, and you can remove your opponent's attackers without spending energy. That's all well and good, but like I find these counters with Spirit Boost so awkward, because you're usually going to use counters to protect your Unison. Like even Wicked Mimicry is another example of this. Using Spirit Boost on a card that you probably want to use to protect your Unison, but you're going to take markers off of it anyway. It's just a little bit weird. Synergistic picks, Violent Rays, nice reprint. I love this art. Wish it came foil, but Tournament Pack 5 includes a reprint of fan favorite Violent Rays. If you've been looking to pick up a copy, now's your chance. Join a tournament at your local game store. If you have one available, that would be ideal. Goku Legend Personified is an exceptional one-cost attacker from UW04. It even draws a card on play. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, just has to be kind of later in the game, but it's okay. Goku Spirit Boost Warrior is a great pick that permanently boosts your leader's power. If your opponent takes it down, you can easily replay it using Spirit Boost, making it persistent and effective threat in many matchups. Unfortunately, that's not really true because it's only decent against like green and red. Blue and black that have methods of like getting rid of this thing via either warping or bouncing it, that doesn't really allow you to use the auto here to bring it back, which is pretty unfortunate. But it's an okay card. I kind of like it for the four energy. Does similar damage to like Obuni, and it can give your leader that kind of sensu bean type of thing, but again, it doesn't really have as good protection as some people think. In closing, what do you think? The cards we introduced today aren't the only options available. Check out the card list and try brewing a deck to call your very own. The next column's August 13th, and we do have, at this time, we have one more article to read for Gogeta Xeno, which we'll do sometime soon. But yeah, that was my thoughts on this article, guys. Of course, I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.